Welcome, everybody. This is White Feathers Woman here.
This is Grey Elk. You're very welcome, and we hope that there's something in this for you. Something in it.
So, this is just a little talk about, the retreats that we very much felt guided to introduce a more personal aspect to them during our work with clients, many clients. One of the things we've really learned to do is completely get out of the way and allow the client's higher self, their I am presence, to let us know what that client needs. And so that can be different aspects of healing and how do you know what you need? So sometimes it can be very, very simple. Sometimes it can be just you going to sleep and you get repetitive like stories or repetitive dreams, repetitive feelings or repetitive thoughts that aren't aligned with your true self, like fearful ones, anxiety ones, ones like that you can sort of stop and say, why do I keep why do I keep getting this thought, or why does this happen to me? And these are things that patterns that can be big soul deep patterns, or they can just be little things that can be cleared quite quickly. So Paul's just going to talk about some of the things that he does in the one-to-ones and what comes up for him. We can include in these personalized retreats.
You were doing so well talking there. I was going to leave you talking for another while, but anyway. So lots of times, when we get people, they come on the courses with us, and they go through the cycle of the courses. And I always say after the shamanic course, that's when the real journey begins. And sometimes then when we go through the advanced course stage with people, coming near the end of that course, you can see people starting to shed even more because they allow themselves to go deeper. And the reason people go deeper in lots of things, and it takes them a while, there has to be a trust element, and there has to be an element where you feel safe. And that's one of our big things, is to make sure that the place is safe for you, that you feel safe in it, and that you trust us and we trust you. So lots of the things that we look at, and these are only some of them because other things come up in the duration of a healing. And remember, Melissa, to you there, we're not in charge when we do it. We get out of the way, and spirit your spirit guides, your ancestors, my ancestors, Melly's ancestors, kind of give us the path on which to work. So some of the things we look at, I just wrote down a few little notes here, just to say, a lot of people refer to the energy around the body as the auric field. When I was being taught many moons ago, my teacher always called it the crystal body. And he made me aware of different things happening within the crystal body. So when we go through trauma, sometimes through different, let's say, initiations or traumas or whatever you want to call them, be it in this life or other lifetimes, they can actually cause a crack within your crystal body. But when there's a crack, especially in your crystal body, the energy can't flow up and down, and there's leakage and there's spillage and there's all that kind of thing going on. So one of the things we look at is that, and to heal it and to seal it, to make it clean again. Another thing that happens a lot with healers, we're used to giving, not used to receiving. There can be a karmic imprint, and that can be going way, way, way back. It might be only 1%, 2%, 3% of our energetic field, but that imprint can be there. And that could come from persecutions and different things during different lifetimes. But that memory, that imprint isn't there. And we look for that to get it. Of course, there's attachments then with spirits and different things that can be in our field and in our thing, and they can hinder our flow. And maybe sometimes our mind is not always our own. So it's clearing that energy. So when we clear stuff like that, there's always people talk a lot about soul retrieval. And I've had people come to me many times and say, can I have a soul retrieval? And it's like they believe that if you give them a soul part back, that they're healed. But what has to be healed first is the issue. The issue always has to be looked at and healed to make the person safe and receptive to the actual energy of the soul part coming back. But there's also warrior retrieval. And warrior retrieval is where in some lifetimes we've been a warrior. It doesn't have to be in war, but for a cause or for something, but never got the recognition for it or never got the plaudits for it. So we run along with that in our lives, where Guinness healers, we do the stuff and we kind of crawl back under the stone, as they say. So we look at that. And power retrieval is another one. So there's three retrievals: soul retrieval, warrior retrieval, and power retrieval that we look at. That's not saying you need them all in the one day, but they're there if you need them. So power retrieval is where someone abused you physically, mentally, or whatever way, and they taken what they basically do is they've taken the power from you. Our job is to take the power from them and bring it back to you. Ancestral healing is a big thing with us, because lots of times when stuff is happening in our being, in our body, in our stuff, that stuff could have been worked in, that could have been something that had come from our ancestors. So in our ancestral lines, there can be curses, there can be traumas, there can be different aspects of things where deceit, all kinds of things that happen. And lots of times with the ancestors, some of the ancestors are still stuck in that energy. They haven't crossed over. So when they haven't crossed over and they're not healed, that energy can come into our energy and into our children's energy. So it's very important for us to look at that. And basically, it's one of the first things I do is look at the ancestors and make sure that they are clean and that the things are clean. And then we're dealing with your issues. So we do journeys, for spirit guides. We do journeys for different things, shamanic journeys in different ways, and other stuff that's needed. Like sometimes we may even need to do a ceremony with you. So when we have the retreat, or that period of time, we have the time to go deep and to work with you. So that's a bit of what I do.
Thanks, honey. As Graham was saying, I just wanted to share about the power retrieval, because there's a huge movement collectively with women and the womb and power coming back to that, to be reconnected with the sacred feminine. And even though she has been, like the cosmic mother is fully on the planet, as is the cosmic father, there's a re-embodiment happening that is very profound, and that sometimes modalities like the roses or like movement medicine can help with that. So also, as Graham was mentioning about the ancestors, there's also soul contracts, where we see that a lot, where sometimes spirit can show you a scroll that's kind of old and needs changed, and that then all the energy within us and the energy within the earth is moving to a more crystalline form. So this is a higher dimensional earth grid. It's above 5D, but 7 to 12, 13, these higher grids are all coming in. And when you work through the I Am presence, you get exactly what you need. We ask that the medicine is held and protected, and that you get the exact dimension and the exact color ray that your soul needs. And we trust that, because sometimes it's shown, sometimes it's not shown. And how do we know? Well, really, we had to go through so many years of clearing ourselves to get the clarity that's needed. And when you're going through stuff, even ourselves, when we're going through stuff, we really ignore what we see, what we feel, what we're experiencing, because it will be mixed. As you're releasing stuff from your soul, you're not going to get the clarity. The clarity comes when you're fully grounded, your heart's open, and you're out of the way. So your mind is still. Your mind is the vessel. Your mind can direct the intent, and then you get out of the way. And then the kind of lucidity and the open-heartedness, and your body then becomes a fully feeling tool for everything you're experiencing in the psychic realms. And that's also how you know that you're getting it right, because your client will feel it. If they're sensitive, obviously sometimes they don't, and that's okay. But so it's taken us both many years to be the vessels to do these retreats, and it's also why we're kind of excited and honored to do them. So what makes them different? In a way, you get more individualized attention. So these retreats are really set up, if one person comes along and wants to do one day with both of us, or one day with one of us in the Azores, we can, the dates are very, very flexible. It just depends what suits you. And it is more focused. So when I use the word faster pace, spiritual evolution, it's not faster as in a rush, but it's like it's more focused, and because it's directing right in to remove all the original traumas. Once you pull the original traumas, then all the other subsequent traumas after that in lives are also pulled. And there's a lovely attention to detail with that. And Paul also mentioned about some of the things that we do. So also included in that is the guide and ancestors clearing and renewal. So sometimes, in your own spiritual evolution, you'll need guides change, ancestors change to align with your highest good and your ascension team that are working with you. Sometimes they're out of line, out of place. Um, I get a lot of light codes coming in. Light codes are energetic transmissions from like the higher ascended planets that come into souls to help with soul purpose, illumination, and kind of being in lightness. It helps to lighten the soul and brings more light in to help raise the consciousness of that soul and help them to really realize and embody why they're here. The roses are one of my favorite to work with. Very, very sacred, special energy for men and for women, helping them to embody the divine feminine. And of course, each rose has a different purpose, and you can do ceremonies like, sacred union, ceremonies for the white gold flame, using different colors roses. Use them for land, use them for people, use them for the heart. You can use them in so many different ways, the roses. And that medicine, when you're connected with that medicine, you'll find that it will just flow through you. Kambo, I'm trained in Kambo, but that's really for retreats with one or two people because of the time it takes. But we're totally flexible as to what you need, and how it works basically is if you think you're interested, you just fill in, book a call with us, a free call, and then send us a photograph, and we will both tune in and talk to your higher self and see what your higher self is asking, what issues are coming up for you, and what you need. And then we sort out the dates and the registration and all that, and dietary requirements. And also to say, so where do we do these retreats? There's one this month. We're planning to run them on São Miguel Island, Azores. So São Miguel is in the middle of the Atlantic. It's where Plato said Atlantis was. The Azores are also my ancestral home on my father's side. And on this island itself, there is the Michael line. There's also the part of the Golden Grid, the Sintomati Golden Grid. There's a golden etheric city here. There's also the Serpent line, which passes, through various points in the earth, including Glastonbury. And there's also the coming in of the aquamarine ray, which is really bringing in the one heart grid. And it's a very, very special place, the island, especially, when you work with the spirit and when you work with the land. We feel very honored to be here. And the sea is completely crystalline. It's got a very high vibration energy and has a lot of spirit in it. And so, yeah, we work with water and with land, and we'll just be guided as to what you need. So
yeah, just to mention, what's very important to know too, that we're working from both ends of the spectrum. You're getting male, female energy, you're getting star energy, and you get, earth energy.
Yeah.
I kind of work with the heavy stuff on that. I do the heavy lifting.
Well, he's fire and earth, and I'm water and air, so it's perfect. The hotel we've got is a really beautiful nature tradition hotel, Senhora de Rosa, and it's a family-run hotel. And they're very passionate about Portuguese food and locally sourced ingredients. And it's a 4-star hotel with a pool and a splash pool and out in nature with a rooftop terrace overlooking the sea. So this is time out for you. This is time out that you can come and actually say, okay, I'm going to leave my phone or whatever, cut off from the world a bit and go within, nurture yourself, and we're here to help you through whatever you go through. So it's our honor. And if you have any questions, please do email us on info@pathwayteaching.com. Thank you so much for listening.